Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking shelter-related characters. So today's character is cha. We haven't covered this looking complicated character yet, but we have seen it in one of the expressions to talk about another character that we passed this year. This character in the middle, the whole thing means scrutinize. But underneath is ji, pronounced as ji. It means to sacrifice. So sacrifice apparently was an ancient practice for humans to negotiate, try to communicate or cut a deal with nature or heaven or gods who kind of decides whether we're going to have a tough time or a good time on earth here. The practice here have 3-finger hand symbol reaching from the bottom of the screen. And that's first person perspective, Chinese. That's your right hand here. And then we have the piece of meat here. This kind of distorted already, but originally it should look like omega sign or crescent moon shape that shows the stripes here on the meat. So it's a piece of meat. Meat handling, right? Hand the meat. And supposedly this is kind of sacrifice ceremonial place to practice. So we have the best kind of meat, normally lamb, to sacrifice and offer to the gods in exchange for favorable conditions. And the bottom, there's 2 horizontal lines with 3 vertical lines. I've seen it in another character, kind of a wizardry, shows the, in today's lingo, shaman practice back then, before the standardization of how to view the world through big branches of religions. Like before then, each localized cultures have their own interpretations of how things worked before we came here. And so this used to be 2 dancers facing each other around this pole. And I would imagine that's kind of, the human envisioned as totem or as antenna, like try to use that to send a message to communicate with the gods out there. And there's 2 horizontal lines simply is the top and the bottom, the upper, lower bound of our existence. So ancient times, I guess, civilizations were very aware of the boundaries of our existence because very much nature dependent. Okay, so in this environment, this special ceremony, meat handling sacrifice. So the whole thing is, simplified into sacrifice. And when in sacrifice, that means in this communication or negotiation with the divine, whoever has this special training or knowledge are supposed to scrutinize, to read the signs carefully, to interpret what's the message from the divine, right? And that under the roof means probably the location, the place such a sacrifice happened. And this scrutinize is the level of attention, the care you have to give as part of decoding the God's intentions there. So that's the main interpretation of why scrutinize is associated with sacrifice. And when we put that kind of domesticate that kind of ceremony, we bring it into household level, and we're looking at examining something very closely. Try to read the signs correctly. Don't go opposite. Don't go against God's plan. Consequences were severe, right? Okay. 科研考察. So this 察, scrutinize, right? So what we're talking about here? 科研科 originally means classification, but Chinese use this classification to mean science. And I guess the impression of Chinese as a language, as a civilization response to the Western scientific method. To understand that came from this taxonomy of the Western world trying to classify things so that we have a sense of how the world was organized. So that this classification became the beginning of our understanding of science. And yan means grinding, like you spend much time to probably doing experiments again and again. So 科研 together is a scientific research translation. Okay, 考察. So 查 we know is scrutinize, right? So to do science research, you have to scrutinize the evidence you collect. And a 考, almost like we have a similar 考. If you put it next to a fire symbol, that means grill. So give it a sense of you have to cross-examine a lot before you can accept some sort of from cases, observations, evidence, and then you kind of build up a theory about something. So 科研考察 means you go outside your ivory tower, go to the real world to collect data, to conduct the science research. And this 考察 especially is a data collection process for scrutinizing the data. 明察暗访, we have a 明 and 暗. 明 means explicitly, brightly, like you can see visibly. 暗访, 暗 means darkly, shadily, inexplicitly. So 明察暗访 means on the surface, visibly, you are scrutinizing something. And 暗访, in a shady sense, you're actually visiting something. So I guess the difference between 查 and 访, this scrutinizing means you already made known your intention is to examine or investigating something. So that's on the surface level, everybody knows. And then in the shade, like when you're not visible, when other people don't know what you're exactly doing, you visit, kind of get first-hand information without people monitoring what you're doing. That's the way, like, I guess another way to collect real data. So 明察暗访 is this by method. One is everybody know that you're investigating this. And 暗访 is nobody knows you're actually visiting some place to collect first-hand data. All right. 察言观色. 察, scrutinize. 言, verbal expressions, our language. 观色, 观, observe, like look afar. 色, you can interpret it as body language or facial expression, some non-verbal cues. So 察言观色 means somebody who's really listening. Like this is the extreme, like a dial to the extreme part of active listening. Like you really think carefully what the words means and also observe how that person deliver the message. So that's 察言观色. All right, so this is a funny moment of this fish and a boy looking at each other. They're scrutinizing each other. That reminds me of the novel I enjoyed very much called A Remarkably Bright Creature, of this octopus, intelligent animal, and a retiree and a widow have this interspecies communication, their way of understanding each other, like lots of nonverbal cues, right? That's how they observe each other, and then eventually the octopus kind of help out this old lady. It's a moving story, so that's the moment kind of probably interspecies communication is possible if we really scrutinize, like really try to decipher the message from non-humans. 查, thank you for your time. See you another day.